And now we're speaking to Sossina Haile. Thanks for joining us, Sossina.
My pleasure.
Let's start with the obvious. JUAMI is an acronym that stands for...
Originally, it was the Joint U.S.-Africa Materials Institute, and we've renamed it to be the Joint Undertaking for an African Materials Institute. Still very U.S.-centric in terms of the African partner, and this is reflecting the fact that we've been funded primarily by the U.S. National Science Foundation.
And how did it begin? How did it start?
So back in May 2010, then DMR Director Zakia Kafafi invited three of us, myself, Peter Green, and Simon Billinge, to try to develop some collaborations with scientists in Africa. So in fact, we went and visited several East African countries, specifically Ethiopia, Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya, to see where we could get started. And then in 2012, we did our first workshop, basically.
And there was a more recent event in 2016. Tell me about that.
So the 2012 and 2016 events were similar in the sense that they were two-week schools addressing needs in materials research. And in both times we focused on sustainable energy, so materials for energy technologies. And there were two-week events where we had courses in the morning, lab sessions in the afternoon, and the students did projects and presented ideas for ways to continue a collaboration.
How important is it then for scientists studying in Africa to make connections, both among their fellow African scientists as well as those who are working in other parts of the world?
Well, I mean, it's important for everyone to have these global interactions and collaborations. I mean, not only for African students, but it is particularly the case for the students from Africa because they have fewer, opportunities to interact, just from the financial resource perspective. So having the U.S. students and scientists go there gave them that opportunity to interact in a way that most scientists are really have come to, are accustomed to at places like this at the MRS meeting, for example.
Now, what about the future of JUAMI? What do you foresee?
So our goal is to continue having these two-week schools on a fairly regular basis. And so we're talking about the next one. It's probably going to be in Uganda, probably another two-week school. We're really going to try to focus a little bit more on the projects to really maintain the collaboration, the momentum after the two-week school is over.
Speaking of momentum, are you seeing that there is definitely a need for this?
Absolutely. And our reason for doing this was that in many, many African countries, the number of universities being opened is just skyrocketed. There's a real recognition that one needs to have, higher level education, and that requires having staff with PhDs. In fact, I was just talking with a colleague right now that saying, we're trying to hire 200 PhDs. And so how do you fill that need? And by helping to at least, do our small part towards that, that's why we're continuing with this.
If someone is listening right now and wants more information about JUAMI, where do they need to go? Where can they get the information?
So we have a website both at Northwestern and also at Columbia University, where that was the first hosting institution. So if you look under www.juami.northwestern.edu, I think that's our current website. So.
And they need to do it quickly because you said you're already thinking about an upcoming event?
Yes, but in terms of when the students would apply, it's going to be a year from now. So there's not a current
Still
urgency.
A lot of time.
Yeah, no urgency this time around, yes.
Sossina Haile, thank you so much.
Okay.
It's good to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. Thank you.